Hey, it's me, Hannah. I'm back for part 2 of my Astarion Cosplay build, and it's crunch time, baby. If you haven't seen part 1, go check that out and watch me slowly murder my sewing machine with an embroidery presser foot and fabric that's just too thick. If you did watch it, you may have noticed that this cosplay has been seemingly subtly cursed. Starting with me burning some piping detail with my iron, and working my way up to fully breaking my sewing machine. And to make things worse, before filming this intro, I was working on finishing up the bottom detail from the jacket, and I sliced the ever-loving shit out of my thumb. Trigger warning for blood for the next 20 seconds. I gotta stop and give a huge shout out to my neighbor who is a nurse practitioner and saved me a trip to the ER. Now I have medical glue and this monstrosity of a Band-Aid holding me together. But I don't really want to look at this anymore, and I could probably benefit from a little extra safety, so let's get to sewing. In between wrapping up the jacket by adding purple bias tape to the sleeves and around the tab shapes at the bottom, I threw together a white sleeveless shirt with a red thread detail around the trim and a red panel for the front, which I attached using buttons. I definitely reached the point of throwing things together and not necessarily creating functional apparel at this stage. So I mentioned in my last video that I ordered this fabric that has this really beautiful leaf detail on it, but obviously it is white. I had ordered this for the Chaps. This is what we're gonna dye today. Speaking of dyeing, I got this relatively inexpensive wig. It is very white. I was hoping it would be a little bit more gray, but pretty obviously synthetic. So I'm gonna attempt to dye this with some synthetic dye. When I tested it, it wasn't taking the color great, and hopefully we can gray this up, you know, without going too gray. I kind of just want a whisper of gray. All right, let's go boil a couple pots of water. I'm kind of concerned about the lace. This is so dark. I don't, like, this is more what I was hoping, like from there up. And then it's like almost kind of blue. I don't know. I was right to be concerned about the lace getting dyed too. Like you can see that it definitely picked that up. So I'm glad I was cognizant of the lace. We're learning something from this. I'm probably gonna have to try to order another wig, but this took a while. We only have 6 days until KatsuCon. So I'm gonna switch gears. Let's dye the fabric. This is meant to be a dark blue, so I'm not worried about it being dyed too dark. Wish me luck. Good soup. While the fabric dried, I switched gears to start working on the boot details. I started with leftover fabric from the jacket, since I still had some, and just patterned it out against my legs. Kind of quick and dirty, but it got the job done. Okay, so I found this like leather pleather vinyl fabric. I think this is something that I got from my grandmother-in-law. I think it's gonna be perfect for the boots, or at least as perfect as I'm gonna get with just a few days left until the con. So what I'm going to do is take this and make some boot covers to easily slip over my Doc Marten Chelsea boots. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to attach them to the boot, but I'm gonna deal with that later. I don't wanna do anything to permanently damage them. Not feeling confident about putting hot glue on these without a little bit of damage. Maybe elastic, maybe buttons or something to that effect. What I'm gonna start with is just getting a shape around the boot and trying to achieve that little like triangle pointy bits to the side. And we'll go from there. We'll just go from there. So I've cut out some shoe adjacent shapes and kind of pinned it into place, right side facing towards the boot. I've just kind of pinned the bottom of the fabric to the sole and then pinned up the seams as well as I could to get it like as close to the boot as possible. Once I sew these in place, I'm gonna do the same thing for the kind of top pieces, the one that comes to a point and it does a little bit of a, I guess on the inside of the boot, does kind of like flop out a little bit. Once I have that, I just have to do it all over again for the other boots and I should be good to go when it comes to the boots. So far, so good. Trying to fold this over in a way that feels consistent and like in a way that I could add elastic here is not playing as nicely as I had hoped. So I warmed up my hot glue gun and I just want to test it out. Are we done? Not down with the hot glue gun? I think that that's fair. I just want to test it out and see it's actually gonna hurt the boot. It's been a couple minutes, moment of truth. See if it'll come off. So cleanly. Are you kidding? Just a little piece of glue? Yeah, I'm gluing. This is ridiculous. Why would I even think about it? All right, it's a new day. It's one day closer to KatsuCon. And I'm feeling okay about where we're at. I'm just 1 or 2 tasks away from having a cosplay that is wearable and recognizable. So today I will be focused on making the chaps, which I already made a pattern for based on the jeans I was wearing yesterday. I also need to finish the other boot cover and then wrap up construction on the jacket, which basically just means hand sewing the bias tape trim on the bottom. Hand sewing has been going slowly, so that keeps getting pushed, but I would love to finish all of those items today. Those items with the work that I did to throw together the lace collar, the white undershirt, and the red front panel, will get us to wearable and recognizable. Then we're on to the final details. I still need to add the pearls to the gold piping on the jacket, not to mention removing the tearaway stabilizer from the machine hand embroidery. Hand embroidery by machine? Machine embroidery by hand? I don't know. Anyway, I would like to airbrush the boots to maybe get a little bit more of a weathered look as well. I'd also like to make some adjustments to the belt to get a little closer to accurate. And then there's still hair and makeup. I ordered another white wig. There are a few things I want to try to get that gray color. I actually really do have a lot left to do. I'm gonna stop talking and get to work.
Okay, so I am working on the belt detail now. I don't think I'm gonna have time to get my 3D printer working and get a print file finished for Astarion's belt. So I bought this belt buckle. I thought, you know, if I had time, maybe I could foam clay something. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry too much about the buckle for right now, but what I can do is add the buckle. The belt originally came with just a ring. So I cut that off and had to trim the belt that I got extra long to make sure that it would fit the belt buckle. And I am now going to rivet this together. The belt needs to be a certain length in order to fit around my waist. And then I'm going to use the extra to get some of the detail. They look like belt loops. I don't know if I'm going to actually attach them to the jacket, even if I just attach them to the belt, you know, so that they look like belt loops. I think that that will be more than fine. Here we are, we made it to the con. I'm surprisingly stoked about how this all came together.
I feel like Astarion. I feel like I maybe didn't crush it, but did a pretty good job. And again, we made it to recognizable, we made it to comfortable, we made it to wearable, and overall, I'm pretty pleased. So like, what more can you ask for? For the rest of the day, we're just gonna kind of roam around and see what there's to see, maybe do a couple meetups. I know there's a Baldur's Gate 3 meetup at some point. I'm gonna try and make it to that. Otherwise, yeah, just roaming around, seeing what there's to see. Again, this is my first con, so I don't really know what to expect. I know I definitely want to go do some shopping, and I want to get a drink, and I want to see everybody else's cosplays. It's going to be such a good day. It's already the energy and the vibes in here are just 100%. Join me as we walk around. I'm already having an amazing time. I just finished the Baldur's Gate 3 meetup. We did a bunch of group photos and that was such a blast. Everybody's so nice and everybody loves their characters and you can tell, and they put so much love and energy into it. I love seeing all the different variations of Astarion, all the other characters too. There's a bunch of Shadow Hearts, 1 or 2 Karlach, 1 Will, 3 or 4 Gales from Waterdeep, and it was a blast. And the day is still young. We still have so much left to do and so much left to see. We're seeing so many people. Everybody's being so nice. I've gotten so many compliments on my Astarion, and I can tell that everybody here that recognizes the character also loves the character, and that's so relatable. I'm sure it's really loud in here, so I'm gonna wrap things up and just go enjoy the con.